The backyard of the house is about 80 feet long, with half concrete and the other half mud. In spring, weeds grow. In rainy season, it is soggy, and in summer, dusty. As the rains stopped at the end of January this year, I decided to eliminate all those problems with paving the mud area with stones. The job was not easy at all. The mud patch was very uneven. The first step was to level the ground, remove the extra piles of soil collected in certain areas. This leveling and moving the dirt took a couple of days. It is heavy duty work. I constantly thought of hiring someone for just leveling the ground, but I refused, as I wanted to try to do the whole work myself. This doing everything by myself in any project gives me the freedom to do whatever I want and whenever I want. I can even stop the whole project in the middle. No one to argue with, consult, or convince on the color, shape, and size of my choices. After 2 days of removing dirt, I rented what is called a tamper to tamp down the soil and further even out the surface. The tamper is heavy. I did my best. I knew that I was not going to make this leveling the ground job perfect. Although I strive for perfection in most jobs, in this case I was perfectly okay to compromise. I started with one area and methodically tamped down the entire mud area. It took another 2 days. Then I calculated the number of paving stones I needed to cover the middle portion. I chose these light brown, irregular shaped stones. My calculations indicated that to cover the center portion of the mud area, I needed 45 stones. I went to a hardware store 20 miles away to get the stones. I had to make several trips because the car could not take more than some 15 stones at a time. These stones were close to 30 pounds each. From the front of the house, I unloaded the stones from the car and using a dolly, I carted them through the side of the house to the back. 2 stones at a time. My original math was wrong. I actually had to use a total of 98 stones. That was some 46 trips from the car to the backyard. As I was doing that strenuous menial job, I kept singing in a raga I like most, Mohanam, to keep all negative thoughts away. Sarika Padasa Sadava Garisa. Don't you think of giving up? You can do it, lazy bum. Before the stones are laid, one important step is to spread what is called weed barrier sheets. They let the water go through in rain but will not allow weeds to grow. It also will keep the mud away. I had to put a total of 3 rows of sheets. These are anchored to the ground using U-shaped metal staples. One dictum I had was to do everything very slowly. No hurry, no deadlines. I had given an ultimatum to myself before starting the project. You should not get a single injury or even a scratch from this project. Advancing age and diabetes makes wound healing a very big problem. And there are many other projects waiting to execute. Ow! Nothing serious happened. Careful, careful, careful. I started laying the stones. It was tricky because they were not square or rectangular, but asymmetrical. I thought it will provide a pleasing pattern. It sure does, but it took a lot of time to arrange them with each stone interlocking with the next correctly. I paused a little bit with the paving stones. I wanted to see how the brown bark pieces would fit with the color of the stones. So I took one bag and emptied the bark. Not bad. I went and got a dozen more bark bags. I continued with stacking the stones up to the far end. I then covered areas where I needed more bark. Hey, had great fun. വടക്കാഞ്ചേരി നിലപ്പറമ്പ് മഠം കൗശികഗോത്ര ആവസ്തംഭസൂത്ര കസ്തൂരി രംഗനാഥ രാമകൃഷ്ണ ശർമ്മ. You did a reasonable job. Wait. It is not done yet. As you have not leveled the ground perfectly, some of the stones are wobbling. You need to pack some fine sand between the stones and tap each one to stop the wobbling. The sand will trickle down to uneven areas. I got to the store and got 2 bags of 50 pounds of clean sand. Methodically, I added the sand into all the cracks between the stones. I brushed off the excess sand. Now it is done. I took some 2 weeks from start to finish. Actually, beautification of the mud area was not my objective. I wanted the mud area clean so that I can take long laps in the backyard, up and down, as part of my routine walking for diabetic sugar control. These laps are critical also for cooking up other new projects. And when someone asks me, "Are you retired now?" I can answer, I have never been so busy in my life without any deadlines, any subordinates to manage, or a boss to report to.